Josef Fuchs, Vice President and Founder, ISCO Foundation, Indonesian Street Children Organization, to share his view of the topic that we bring up in this talk show. Josef, thank you so much for your time, really appreciate it. I would like to ask you first, on your standpoint, when we see the short VT just now as the introductory remark, what is in your mind when we are talking about the current states of Indonesian youth, the young population here?
I think the young population actually is the future anyhow for all of us, not only for the Indonesians, even for the foreigners who are here, trying to change something together with the Indonesians. I think it is absolutely essential to have education as good as possible in this globalized world.
Indonesia in particular, now everyone is saying that we are experiencing this kind of stable economic growth. We are benefiting also from this kind of global economic situation. But to what extent actually this kind of growth and development already also been equally shared and enjoyed by Indonesian youth? Because let's say based on ISCO Foundation experience as well, there are still so many unfortunate Indonesian youth living in this country.
Yes, that is true. But I think the real problem what we see in ISCO is actually most of our kids are coming from migrative background.
Yeah.
And I think in the long term there is no other way than developing the rural areas. Otherwise we will not come into a real change.
Indonesia in particular, now everyone is saying that we are experiencing this kind of stable economic growth. We are benefiting also from this kind of global economic situation. But to what extent actually this kind of growth and development already also been equally shared and enjoyed by Indonesian youth? Because let's say based on ISCO Foundation experience as well, there are still so many unfortunate Indonesian youth living in this country.
Yes, that is true. But I think the real problem what we see in ISCO is actually most of our kids are coming from migrative background.
Yeah.
And I think in the long term there is no other way than developing the rural areas. Otherwise we will not come into a real
geographical aspect and demographic aspect as well. How challenging actually here when we talk about Indonesia context in terms of bridging this kind of big and sharp gap, because we are not centralized in only one island here, right? Sometimes not proportional attention being given considering this kind of a distant thing.
Yes, I know that's a huge factor here in Indonesia. I myself, I'm here since 30 years. And we also try to go rural, but it's a big challenge because it's a huge issue of economics. And also, of course, it is a logistical trouble to do that, or what we want to do. But the government is trying everything already, I must say, and they are helping a lot in order to change something in that respect.
What kind of big change you will expect, let's say, when we talk about empowering Indonesian youth?
The big chance is actually that Indonesia has actually everything what is needed to become something very special. And myself, I come from Austria, where I don't think that we have all that advantages what could be here in Indonesia. And I'm very sure here everything is possible with the proper support.
Among many social issues related to the CSR activity, why do you choose education at the first place?
Because I think when we talk about the youth, which is actually our future, is actually the key for a better future. And I think education is everything what you can have as a basis for a change. Actually, I think Indonesia has a typical example about coming from to be how should I say democracy now. It's proven that it is working, but of course still a long way to go with education, that we can have an average educated population. I think that is just the essential one.
And where are we now in terms of creating this kind of social awareness that human capital or talent should come first when we would like to build a good nation? Start from the human resources.
I would not say that we are in the beginning, but actually we are still on the way. Yeah, in Indonesia, actually I can feel in my own environment. Actually, the foreigners, our links in the foreign community, business community, is easier than into the Indonesian one. I think that's what we need to change in the long term.
Josef, in the end, is it all about money when we talk about the inequality of Indonesian youth population to gain the similar access to the proper education?
No, I think it's not all about money. It's about opportunities which we business people also get from the young people who are well educated. And I think we have to do something for it also in order to support that. The government is trying everything quite hard, I must say. We still a lot to do when we talk about readiness for the education. It's not enough to have free, let's say, primary and basic education. But if the people cannot have the basics for it, like reading, like counting, like whatever, it's all done in the kindergarten, which is not free. And that's actually the problem where still is a lot to do.
Can you share with us link and match between this kind of youth empowerment through education with business environment in Indonesia in particular? What could they contribute in the end for the business environment?
I think there is no business without proper staffing, and I think very important that we have strong knowledge and that we have strong, let's say, good educated staff who are helping us to really be in the globalized world, also to export, because Indonesia is also an exporting country. Myself, I'm exporting to the whole world, and that's actually something which is not an easy task.
Much for sharing your insight with us. Very noble mission that you have. We really cross our fingers for the best for ISCO Foundation.
I would like to thank you very much also to the whole, to the viewers also to help us in that part. We surely need them.
Stay tuned for more business insights on MNC Business.